Hello everyone, and today we are back at it with another random desktop review. And as you can see, today's review is Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Sideways. Now, Sideways in vehicle mode here is kind of an Audi R8, kind of not an Audi R8. It's a whole licensing issue with Audi, and yeah, there's a whole story behind it, and I don't think Audi knows what a transformer is exactly, so. But as we can see, he has lots and lots of silver and gray paint on him. More clear plastic, but we're not going to talk about it in this video. As you can see, he has the front wheels clipped and the back wheels pinned, which I hate, but that's what Hasbro seems to be going with. We have the back tail lights painted, some nice gray detail there. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely not an Audi R8, but it's close enough that you assume it's an Audi R8, or it's trying to be. So, without further ado, let's get to his accessory. He only comes with the one, which is his little triple-barreled gun thing from the Revenge of the Fallen game, I think. I'm not quite sure. I haven't played the Revenge of the Fallen game in like 10 years, so it's been a while, and I don't even remember playing as Sideways in it, so. But he does have weapon storage in vehicle mode. You just find the two little peg holes on around his tailpipes, and then there's two little tabs right there that will just sit inside, and there you go. It's not the most graceful weapon storages, but you know, if Bumblebee can do it, why can't Sideways? Now, for some size comparisons, we have him with Dark of the Moon Sideswipe. And as you can see, he has a little bit of height on him and just about the same length there, not really much difference. As you can see, these are both very well painted figures. I personally still think this is the better overall figure, but we'll get to that in another video. And for the second size comparison, we have Revenge of the Fallen Gears. And as you can see, Gears, despite also being a deluxe class figure, is much larger. He actually scales pretty well, all things considered. This is a much larger car than this would be. As far as length goes, though, I think they would be much closer than they are here. But that's just Hasbro nowadays. Deluxes are a lot smaller than they used to be. And that's all the size comparisons I have today. Let's get down to transformation. So for transformation, what we're first going to do is kind of grab and just pull. So you're going to put your pointer finger here on what the molded details is supposed to be a door handle. Grab there, grab here on the bottom, and just pull. And do the same thing on the other side. Point your finger, thumb, pull. And that will allow you to kind of get in. Well, before we do these bits, go ahead and take these silver bits on either side here and just pull them out. Thing over here. And then that should allow you to kind of rotate the arms down, or it's where they're like this on the vehicle mode, and then pull out. And they're on a double hinge, so there's a hinge way down in there, and then there's a hinge here. So you want to kind of get it to where the arm is like this. And we'll just do the same thing on the other side. Just pull, and then get these situated, and then just push the thumb down, and that's all we're really going to do for the arms right now. Next, what you're going to do is take this bit here. There's a little pin right there. What you're going to want to do is take both ends and just press them together until it looks like that. It should look like the front end kind of collapsed in on itself. Now, what we're going to do is pull the windows of the car up. And then we're going to take the entire back section and just, oh, wait, before we do that, get the legs pulled out just like that. And instead of pulling it, we're going to push it down kind of, which will then bring the chest down. Take this part here, bring it up. It'll kind of click in. You want to rotate it at both this hinge here and this hinge here to get it all the way up where it needs to be, and then just press and that should click into place. Take this little panel here, fold it down, and then we'll just get things straightened out here. And finally, for the arms, I almost forgot, you got to pull them in like this, and then at this hinge right here, fold them back until it sits like that on the arm. We'll just do the same thing on the other side. Fold, and then this hinge here, fold back, and then it just sits there. And there we have Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen sideways in his robot mode. He has a hard time standing. So, yeah, this is part of the issue I think a lot of people have with this figure. They chose to make his ankles ball joints, which is almost never a good idea. They should always be pinned and then just allowed for a hinge. But I think on this guy, because of how thin his legs are, they couldn't get that done. So just get him situated. And there he is. So looks really good so far. We'll get a close-up in here on the head. As you can see, very mean looking head, very silver. There isn't any red in his eyes from what I can see, like even without the one single light I have. Just looking at him in regular lighting, I don't see any red. But his face is so scrunched up, I don't think you'd be able to get any red paint in there. You could definitely see they prioritize the paint in the vehicle mode more, because there is not a lot of paint on the robot mode itself. What paint is there was on the vehicle mode already. But yeah, overall, really good figure. Now for articulation, we do have a ball joint at the shoulder, which does give you 360. You can go in and out. And a ball joint at the elbow, which gives you a full 360. Thumb is articulated and fingers are articulated, which is really rare for a deluxe class figure. I mean, you rarely see posable hands on this size figure unless it's like a third-party version. And then, yeah, mine has a very loose arm that I need to thicken up. You have ball joints at the waist, which gives you a pretty good kick, and can go out that far. He can do a full split, and he can go back about that far. And he has a hinge at the knee, which is the most solid joint on his body. And ankles are ball jointed to give you almost a full range of motion. He doesn't have an ankle tilt really. He has a very, very small one, but not near enough to actually be useful. And good luck actually getting him into a pose, because he is so spindly in the legs that it's very hard for them to actually balance. I mean, his feet are really well sized. It's literally just because they chose to use a ball joint on there. Like, honestly, it would have made more sense to just have it be a single pin in his ankle and then just have it be an up and down motion. Because that would immediately improve the stability of the figure itself. But what are you going to do? The figure's been out for a while now. Or, well, I'm assuming it's been out for a while now. In my area, this guy wasn't here until like November last year. It's supposed to be like an August release. But that's an issue with my area. not the figure itself. Now, for his weapon, still has it. And this is one of my favorite aspects of the figure. So, to get the weapon to get him holding his weapon, basically, what you want to do is you want to take his thumb and pull it as far back as it'll go. Should have a very open hand. You want to take the, let's see if I can find the pin or the tab. Okay, yeah. You want to take the longer side of the weapon, so the taller side here, and you want to bring it back like this on his arm, and then there is a very little tab right there and a very small slot right on his thumb. And what you do is once you have it there, you bring his thumb forward. Oh, now he wants to fight me here. Hang on a second. Make sure everything is appropriately where it needs to be. You just bring the thumb forward and click it in, and that's how he holds his weapon. That is amazing. I love that. In and of itself justifies the existence of this figure. The whole problem I have with like the Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime's gun is that yes, it does cover his hand, but it sticks out way too far. This is perfect for the movie figures because every movie figure had a gun that formed into their hand or stuck off the side of their arm. And the fact that Sideways, a character that's like a nothing character, had no dialogue and was there for like 5 seconds and then got sliced in half in vehicle mode, not even in robot mode, gets the best weapon storage in robot mode. I just love that. That's such a dumb choice that I love it. Plus, you can also use it as kind of a kickstand so he's not toppling over everywhere, which I am going to do for the remainder of this video. So, with all that being said, let's get to some size comparisons. Here he is next to the man that sliced him in half. Sideswipe. As you can see, at the head, Sideswipe is a little bit taller. He's about a head and a half taller. But due to the door wings on Sideways, Sideways is actually quite a bit taller in robot mode. I still personally think this is the better figure, much more stable in robot mode and everything like that, but I'll get to that when I get to him in a desktop review. And for our final size comparison of the video, here he is next to Revenge of the Fallen Gears. And as you can see, Gears is way taller, like even compared to Sideswipe. It's like way taller than both of them. And he's still a deluxe class figure. Yeah, it's amazing how big and beefy deluxe classes used to be. But again, another video. So with all that being said, this has been my random desktop review for Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Sideways. Make sure you go pick him up. I really think this figure is good overall. There are a few issues, but those are easily fixed. The ball joints at the ankles, just with some either clear nail polish or floor polish, that should be an easy fix. You can use super glue. I don't recommend it just because there is the possibility that it will completely solidify the joint entirely and you won't be able to transform him anymore. But if you know what you're doing, that also works. But with all that being said, I'm going to end the review here. I will see you guys some other time. Guys, I need your help. Okay, so the algorithm is the #1 enemy of all YouTube channels. Any YouTube channel that's trying to start up or isn't pre-established is going to fail because of the algorithm. So what I need you to do, I need you to do 2 things. 1, I need you to hit like. 2, I need you to subscribe. If you don't do either of those things, this channel is not going to be able to stay afloat for very long. So please, like, subscribe, and if you really like me, you might leave a comment while you're at it. Thank you very much.